consider yourself loved, Miss Gage. Now, girl wouldn't resist that.
So besides acting, what else did you do?
Well, after we got married, it became kind of difficult to keep on the road with all that acting. So I took up a variety of professions. For a while, I ran a newspaper in Aberdeen, out in the Dakota Territory.
Don't forget the Bombs Bazaar.
Bombs Bazaar? What's that?
Well, that was an emporium that I started also out in the Dakota Territory.
Exotic and rare goods. Those pioneer folks had never seen anything like it.
Unfortunately, it failed miserably.
But that was not one of imagination and ingenuity. Those poor territory folks were just not ready for Frank's newfangled ideas.
So you tried this, and you tried that.
Yes, I even went on the road as a traveling salesman, but I didn't last very long at that. It took me away from home too much. So I got involved in I got involved in the show window business, and eventually I wrote a whole book on how to do show windows properly.
Right around then, he decided to try his hand at writing stories for children. He'd been telling stories to children for years, and we thought that would be a good idea.
Was The Wonderful Wizard of Oz your first children's book?
Mercy, no! His first book was Mother Goose in Prose.
That was a retelling of the famous Mother Goose stories at greater length.
And he and Denslow collaborated on Father Goose, his book. That was their first bestseller.
And Denslow went on to collaborate with The Wonderful Wizard of Oz?
Yes, William Wallace Denslow provided the drawings for the story that I had written. We decided that since the first book had done so well, we should try our hand at a second.
But I heard that it had a different title at first.
Oh yes, at first the manuscript was called The Emerald City, but the publisher, George M. Hill, didn't like that title.
He was superstitious, and he thought that a book with a jewel in the title wouldn't sell.
So I changed the name. My next title was From Kansas to Fairyland.
But the publisher didn't like that either.
Finally, we settled on The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Did you have any idea when you wrote it that it would lead to more books and stories about Oz?
None whatsoever. I was writing whatever books I could to find out what could catch on with the public. I wrote a whole variety of books in those early days.